Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Be My Own Boss podcast. I'm your host, Mike Hruby, and today this is episode 44. We're going to look at answer the question, where is freelancer freedom? We've all been working hard for it. We know it's an issue. Where is it really? So, welcome. We have there's actually a lot of locational information, and here we go. What are we talking about? We're talking about a bill numbered HR 1319, proposed by California Congressman Kevin Kiley. He's from the slanted district in California that runs along the Nevada border. The whole thing. It's one of the longest districts by dimension in the lower 48 states. He's the perfect guy to host it. He's the sponsor, and he sponsored it back in February. So the bill is in D.C., it is in Congress, and it is in the House. And it was proposed, entered into the paperwork in, February 13th, 2025, and it is pretty much paused there, and it hasn't gone further. But it looks like a good bill when you read it. It makes sense. It's extremely short. Where is it really? Okay, it has not yet been assigned to a subcommittee. It's in the Committee on Education and Workforce, which is just the right place for it. There are lots of representatives in that committee, and they're all interested in labor. They all have different motives, so they all think differently of individual freedom and opportunity and being your own boss, but that's, the nature of the country. So, but it has paused there. It normally would be assigned to what's called the Subcommittee on Workforce Protections, and that's the perfect subcommittee. The previous, in the Biden administration, they had 2 years of this committee, and it deals with issues like freelancer freedom. So it's the right place to be. The committee has a 5-4 split, 5 Republicans and 4 Democrats. The head Republican is named the chairman. The head Democrat is called the ranking member. And in the chair is a fellow named Ryan McKenzie, a freshman senator from Pennsylvania. He was in the labor. He's first time in Congress, so he's got a ton of chairman duties for this subcommittee. He is he was in the labor committees in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, and so he has experience with issues like this, but I have no knowledge that he has specific independent contracting knowledge. He will be kind of opposed in the war of words between the parties in the committee, and his ranking minority member that he has to live with and work with is our old friend from Minnesota, Representative Ilhan Omar. I'm sure you have an opinion of Ilhan Omar. So this is going to be a real deal when they finally get to holding a hearing on this. But of course, it hasn't been assigned to the subcommittee yet. Maybe that's because they want to hold back. Maybe because there's a lot of other things going on right now, and they haven't gotten around to it. And freelancers are notoriously quiet about their wishes, notoriously under-organized and just quiet, not present. So I'm sure a lot of people have said, we can wait till later. So that's a little bit of where we're starting out, people. So we'll want to think about that. The bill is, I would say, it is short and it is simple seeming, but the more you study it, the more you realize that I think there is going to be mischief used with this bill if it goes up by itself. I think there are things we definitely should talk about here and that you should definitely talk with your representative about, because I think that they will, our opponents are highly aggressive, extremely well financed, and they have a lot in this bill that they will use to confuse the issue and minimize the amount of freedom that a freelancer gets if the bill is passed and signed, which of course it hasn't been. So right now, this is merely a concept that's in Washington, but we have the Biden regulations still in place. They haven't changed them, and nothing will change until they're either changed by regulation or changed by legislation. Legislation is easier. In this, when you have a majority, it's easier. So let me activate the number in red. So you know this is HR 1319 for the 119th Congress. There are other 1319s out there, but that's what you want. And let me give you the QR code to see the text. Again, 459 words, nothing to it. But this is very, very clever, complicated legislation. I admired it first. I still admire it. I believe it needs something to go with it. And as you know, we have a Be My Own Boss podcast. Be My Own Boss podcast has its own legislation that we have drafted. We're going to be talking about that. But for now, anybody who wishes should go and take a look at the Kiley bill. This is what will provide you freedom, or most of you with freedom to be your own boss. So it's a good first step. So, okay, Mike, you might ask, what's the status right now? Well, to wrap that up, it's unassigned, so it's at the moment it's not moving. There is no action visible. Okay, so that's not a good thing. No one is really responsible for this bill. No one has, they haven't just said, I'm going to make this my life's work for the next year and we're going to push this, push it through. Representative Kiley, who is the best man in Congress to push it, is extremely busy doing what he calls nuisance-proofing California, in league with President Trump. I'm sure most of California and a great deal of the rest of the United States would love for him to be successful doing that, but it takes him away from the battle. Someone within the subcommittee that handles it, it's likely to be Ryan McKenzie or one of the Republicans he assigns, will have to take this bull by the horns and get it to go through the Congress. Big task. But for now, everyone's attention is elsewhere, and we need independent contractors to speak up, or it will continue to be elsewhere until the end of Congress, and you don't want that. So there is no momentum. I wish I could report momentum. There is none on this. So take a picture. I'll remove that, but it's 1319 is what you have to remember. Nothing is scheduled, so there's no deadline driving people forward. Like they don't have 1st of July or anything like that. Even the budget's going to be delayed until the 4th. Like, oh my goodness, that's really late. And Congress has scheduled for this year to be mostly at home campaigning and out of the office. So this is one of those downs. We freelancers are downstream from a Congress that would rather not legislate. There have been 50 years of this. They'll give the responsibility to someone else. So I wish I had better news. It's not the end of the road. It is definitely the beginning of the road, and we need to take steps to move along it. So what you're hearing is right now is what I call chin music, which is, we might solve this by regulation. Oh, well, we could do this by regulation, by legislation. We could consider what happens and do something later. Anyway, not a good scene, not a bad scene. It's just not a solution. It's not happening. You might say, who's most at risk if this bill goes through? I think the bill leaves out, it will end up not covering musicians, performing artists, and possibly some or all athletes in the professional sector, because they all have a coach or a director or a conductor, any of those leadership positions. This bill will not deal effectively with it. The litigants, the opposing forces, plaintiffs' attorneys, and unions will have to fight. They will sue, and sue very effectively to make it not apply to those people, so they can organize them and represent them, and use their union dues for various purposes. So that's where the biggest risk is if this bill passes. But as I said, it hasn't passed and it's not going to yet. So I would like you between now and the next episode to ask that you think about, would you like your voice to be heard, saying why you prefer independent contracting, or anything else you'd care to say about being your own boss or working for yourself or having a flexible schedule, or basically just independence for you as an individual. So with that, seeing no questions, I will say thank you very much from the Be My Own Boss podcast. It's been fun being here. Press the like button. My friend Steve Johnson says smash it, but I do want it to be there for other purposes. So press that like button, follow us, and put the alerts on so you'll be able to tune in and join us for the future episodes. So with that, I want to say thanks, and have a good afternoon, and follow Be My Own Boss podcast.